The biggest fear that most of us have when buying precious metals is having them arrive in the mail and then only to find out that our silver or gold that we have purchased, spent our hard earned money on, has turned out to be fake. And you're stuck with the fake gold and silver while the company who sold it to you has your money. And likely they're from overseas. And there's nothing you can do about it. We're going to talk about why this is becoming an increasingly larger concern than ever before as we explore. Rocky Superstar, a great member of this community, sent me an article about how there are many more websites that are starting to sell fake gold and silver coins. And he also alerted me to this organization, which is called the Anti-Counterfeiting Education Foundation. And this is a great institution that helps bring awareness and investigations on fake gold and silver coins. Turns out there's now hundreds of websites, and the Anti-Counterfeiting Education Foundation is warning us about these and how we can protect ourselves. And a lot of it is common sense. But I tell you, since the last couple of years, we have all seen a lot more new folks coming into the world of precious metals. And so it's important for those of you who are new to stacking to understand how this happens and how you can protect yourself. It's also a great reminder for many of us who are experienced in the realm of precious metals and to not give in to, well, for lack of a better term, greed, because really that's kind of what it's about, thinking you can find a really good deal, and that essentially clouds your judgment. Now let's get into this. It's fascinating to see, and here's some photos, and we'll revisit those photos. I'm going to give you some pointers and tips on how to detect fake silver and gold coins if you're out in public in a local coin shop or at a coin show. Because yes, believe it or not, fake gold and silver can be found at your local coin shop and at coin shows. I've seen it. I've actually saved local coin shops literally thousands of dollars. And maybe one day I'll do a story on that if I get the permission from the local coin shop about how I was able to do that. But nonetheless, a Long Island, New York investor mistakenly thought he could make a quick profit of at least several $100s on an online purchase of coins from a vendor he found advertising at Walmart.com. Now, there is your first clue. A very legitimate organization, Walmart is. And you've seen me post videos actually a number of years ago about how they are now selling gold and silver coins. Pretty crazy to think about, but yes, it is happening. I'll get into that in a moment. Instead, the unsuspecting buyer unhappily learned that all 10 of the American Silver Eagles that he bought were fakes, according to the nonprofit Anti-Counterfeiting Education Foundation. And there's another lesson here. Thought he could find a good deal, turn a quick profit. The ACEF has notified Walmart and the Secret Service about the advertiser, and he is under investigation. However, the bad actor selling counterfeit rare coins and fake gold and silver bullion coins online frequently change company names and websites, cautioned Doug Davis, ACEF anti-counterfeiting director. We've seen suspicious ads posted on many platforms, including Amazon and Facebook. And by the way, all three of these organizations, Walmart, Amazon, Facebook, and also eBay, seem to be very lax in their vetting of some of these websites that sell through their platforms, because everybody trusts Amazon, everybody trusts Walmart, and sadly, too many people trust Facebook. They're all over the place on Facebook. You've seen me do videos about it for those of you who have been following my channel for a while. There's all over Facebook for sure, and it's a shame. We are now tracking more than 300 websites selling fakes, many of them apparently operated by the same individuals or companies. and often under different company names. In fact, those standalone websites have a similar look. I've talked about that in the past as well too. Some even copy the exact wording of the actual photos from legitimate dealers' web pages, explains Davis, a former Texas police chief. And by the way, that includes the about pages of some legitimate bullion dealers that I've actually called one of them and said, yeah, they stole the text from our website and put a phone number up there, thinking that if people see a phone number, well, they've got to be legitimate, and they don't even bother to call. So it's kind of crazy how much trust people put into some people because of what they see on the internet. Genuine United States Mint produced American Silver Eagle bullion coins each contain 1 ounce of silver and may sell for perhaps 20% over the current price of silver. The Long Island investor mistakenly thought he was getting a great bargain when he paid a total of $26.16, including tax, to purchase all 10 of what the seller claimed were silver coins. Yes, indeed. So that's another thing, too, how they list these. You know, it's not just silver coins. They're American Silver Eagles, the most popular silver bullion coin in the world. So that description should have raised somewhat of a red flag. The other red flag here, and this is tip number 1, if a deal seems to be too good to be true, it likely is too good to be true. And do not be fooled by this, because even though that price is above spot, 20% is, by the way, is a very, very forgiving number, because it's much more than that for Eagles these days. It's crazy, but nonetheless, there's where it is: $26.16 for an American Silver Eagle. Not in today's market, that's for sure. So you have to understand what the market is, and you got to be you got to be smart. In other words, you've got to be informed as well as what is a going rate for an American Silver Eagle. Much more than the price of a regular bullion coin, that's for sure. The article continues. The advertisement even promised the coins would be accompanied by a certificate of authenticity from the U.S. Mint. For those of you who know and are well informed, you will know that the U.S. Mint never issues certificates of authenticity for their bullion coins. Does not happen. It only does it for the proof coins. And by the way, if the images above that I showed you there were of proof coins, like this is a proof coin, likely this guy, Doug Davis, was spending $26 and some odd cents for this proof coin. Well, boy, he surely is mistaken, because those are selling for $73, $80 now. It's crazy. But anyways, all right. Thinking he could get perhaps $300 or more for the 10 items, the buyer learned that they were counterfeits when he tried to sell them to a local Long Island coin dealer. And by the way, good on the Long Island coin dealer for knowing their coins, because I tell you what, sometimes these coin dealers can get in a hurry, and some of the fakes, on very first glance, they may look good enough. You have to inspect them closely sometimes. I'll get into that in a moment. But nonetheless, here's another thing that this local Long Island coin dealer did that not many dealers would do. The dealer purchased all 10 of the bogus coins for the exact amount the investor originally paid. Basically, this guy got a reprieve, big time. And then he submitted all the fakes to Davis at the Anti-Counterfeiting Education Foundation, along with copies of the investors' purchase documents. And this is where we're getting the photos from that. And these appear to be proof coins, proof-like coins. But as you can see, there's no mint mark. And that's one example. If it has a proof finish, there's always going to be a mint mark on them, no matter what. And it is not there on any of these coins. By the way, this date is it's much smaller than the actual date format for the redesigned obverse and reverse American Eagles. But this, other than that, this looks fairly good. There's some other things on there that are a little bit off. But essentially, you look at the date, you look at the details compared to the genuine copy, as well as the actual capsule is different as well too. The U.S. Mint has unique capsules, or different enough, and they have a lip on them that are not seen here on these, at least that I'm witnessing here. So there is that. So moving ahead here. So As part of the ongoing probes of suspicious fraud, investigators with the Anti-Counterfeiting Task Force make purchases from websites suspected of selling counterfeit coins and precious metals. So they're already starting to do the work for us in order to call these people out. In one recent purchase, we ordered 3 advertised American Eagle silver coins for $7.99 each from a Walmart.com seller. As is typical of many suspected sellers on social media and other websites, the advertiser wanted to appear legitimate by requesting payment using PayPal. Now, a lot of people trust PayPal. It's got buyer protection, right? But the coins received were professionally tested for authenticity, and they were below the weight of the United States Mint standards and were magnetic. Genuine examples are not magnetic. Well, actually, technically, they're diamagnetic using the eddy current. If you use a magnet, you can tell because they move very slowly. The CCT silver slide is the best way to test silver coins for diamagnetism. Anti-Counterfeiting Education Foundation experts warn that the quality of many of the counterfeits are quite good and easily can deceive buyers who are not experienced with coins and precious metal bullion items. And that's just it. There may be a lot of new stackers watching this video right now. And I'm not necessarily saying that you have to be familiar with mint marks or the number of feathers on the back of the eagle or the details like that. But counterfeiters and their accomplices are heavily marketing fakes through social media and websites that promise genuine merchandise but deliver counterfeits every day. The ACTF investigators locate suspected websites selling counterfeit coins and precious metals, preying on unsuspecting victims. So, if you're new to stacking, don't want to put the burden on you to know everything whenever you buy as far as the details and be able to tell from photos, because they can use legitimate photos. But if you don't know precious metals or rare coins to the degree that many in this community that have been stacking for a long time can tell, you better know a reputable dealer, such as experts affiliated with the Accredited Precious Metals Dealer Program, or the Professional Numismatist Guild. Members of both P&G and APMD must follow a strict code of ethics in the buying and selling of numismatic merchandise. Now, keep in mind, some of these fake websites can use the logos from these organizations as well, too. But you're going to know online retailers like Apmex, JM Bullion, Bold Precious Metals, Monument Metals. Those are just to name a few. Hero Bullion. There's plenty of legitimate dealers out there. You go to their websites, and usually they're going to have security with HTTPS in front of them. That's a secure place to buy. And so that's one way to start. There's another place called findpreciousmetals.bullion.com. And that is a place you can go to get the best deal. It's not updated quite as frequently, but that is another place you can go, and they're going to link to legitimate websites as well too. And word of mouth is definitely a good thing. Watching videos like this and others, they tell you where to buy. And most of these online dealers, they will go out of their way to sell legitimate, because anything that comes up that's illegitimate, that's not right, it could be a real big deal for an online retailer to send those out to you, because the reputation is on the line. And with social media these days, news could spread quick if people aren't forgiving. Like in my situation with my local coin shop, and other places, especially even at coin shows. I've been able to tell folks, hey, this piece that you have on display here, it's not genuine. And because it can happen. It can happen to the best of us. Nonetheless, the important work of the Anti-Counterfeiting Education Foundation and its volunteer task force of rare coin and precious metal experts is supported entirely by donations. And so that is kind of how they work. They're a 501c3 corporation. And so that's good that they take the time and they volunteer to do it, and they survive by donations. So it's a good thing that they're doing here. But look at these photos again, and you can see even some of these way they have these things manufactured and stacked on top of each other is not normal. See these little rings here? I guess they probably tubed them up and that is probably the markings on the tube that they have for these things to bulk send them out. And there's no packaging with these things either, as there usually is the case with with U.S. Mint products, unless it's from the bulk purchase program. But again, there's certain things you look for. But the most important thing is just to understand that whenever you buy, and here's Walmart, Walmart, you can see here, you go to Walmart's website for under the precious metals category, you see different things, and how do you know these are legitimate? You go to a number of these things, you go click on this bar, for instance, okay, there it is. It's sold by Bullion Max. And how do we know they're legitimate? How do you know it's not just a name Bullion Max and not the actual dealer? You click on the seller's information, you can see the ratings there. They have a phone number you can call, and there's their address and the like. So likely this is genuine. And they received some ratings here. But even so, if it still looks iffy to you, I would not buy. I would not buy from this website under that name. What you could do is you could Google search Bullion Max, and the actual dealer will come up, and they are a legitimate dealer. I've dealt with them before. So you can search their actual website, and you can buy directly from them if you don't feel comfortable doing it through Walmart or Amazon or any other platform. And that's just it. Do not be fooled by these platforms that sell from these sellers, because a lot of them fake ones do get through there. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are about buying silver and gold, eagles, and other coins on these platforms. It's important to know. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to Rocky Superstar for sharing their story with me, and to all of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.